A piece of NCIS Origins casting news can worsen a sad story for Mark Harmon's Leroy Jethro Gibbs. Tackling the origin story of the former MCRT leader with the agency, the new CBS spinoff has tapped Austin Stoll to take over the role. Still, Harmon will provide the narration for the series. Since some of Gibbs' backstory is known, the 90s set NCIS Origins will build on critical moments for him. It can bring more depth to Gibbs' flashbacks in the flagship NCIS and introduce moments of his life that the original series never showed. NCIS Origins will have some devastating twists, especially when setting up the rest of the character's life. Picking up in 1991, a disastrous year for Gibbs, as NCIS Season 3 revealed the death of Gibbs' wife and daughter, the new expansion series can properly show the aftermath of the incident. Aside from that, however, there's another heartbreaking development that NCIS Origins is expected to tackle. A casting update reveals that the prequel will also show how Gibbs lost someone dear to him around the same time that his wife and daughter were murdered. NCIS Origins has cast Longmire's Robert Taylor as Jackson Gibbs. Jackson is Jethro Gibbs' father, who appeared several times in the flagship show, with the legendary The Waltons actor Ralph Waite portraying the character opposite Harmon. The older Gibbs was introduced in Season 6, Episode 4, Heartland, which is one of the best episodes of NCIS. Harmon's character reunited with his father when a case brought the team to Gibbs' hometown of Stillwater, Pennsylvania. The outing revealed vital details about Gibbs' life before his time at NCIS. Plenty of backstory exists about Jackson Gibbs' timeline, and as such, Robert Taylor's casting confirms that the upcoming prequel will likely expand on a devastating moment from the original series. Including Jackson in the NCIS Origins cast almost guarantees that CBS will feature a pivotal, heartbreaking moment for Gibbs. The network has a 2-hour block dedicated to the NCIS Origins series premiere before it moves to its regular slot. As such, the show's special pilot has the time it needs to tackle a heartbreaking narrative for Austin Stoll's young Gibbs character leading up to joining NCIS. NCIS revealed that the last time that Gibbs saw his father was at the funeral of his wife and daughter, Shannon and Kelly. Pedro Hernandez murdered Gibbs' family after they agreed to testify against him in a murder case. Since Shannon and Kelly died in 1991, and Jackson's NCIS debut was in 2008, it implied that Gibbs and his father didn't talk for 17 years. It's likely that Jackson's role in NCIS Origins ties to that funeral, since the father and son supposedly didn't have any interactions after that until their reunion in the flagship series. The name of the opening episode of NCIS Origins reveals the likelihood that the series will include Shannon and Kelly's funeral. The title of the NCIS Origins pilot is Enter Sandman, suggesting a connection to Gibbs' time spent in the Marine Corps, specifically Operation Desert Storm. This suggests the NCIS Origins pilot will show Gibbs' transition out of the Marine Corps and joining the agency. This will likely involve Shannon and Kelly's funeral, since it happened somewhere in between. NCIS Origins showrunner David North addressed Jackson's involvement in the series and the potential plot hole it could cause. He says that they were aware of the existing story and were working with NCIS canon to feature the character. Since Taylor is a recurring character rather than a series regular, he doesn't have to feature in every episode. All that's listed so far is that Robert Taylor will feature in NCIS. The casting news shook the fans of NCIS to their core, an announcement that had long been speculated, debated, and even dreaded by those who held the franchise close to their hearts. It was confirmed, a young actor had been cast to portray the teenage Leroy Jethro Gibbs in the upcoming spin-off series, NCIS Origins. The spin-off, set to explore the formative years of several iconic characters from the original series, was already generating buzz. But this particular casting choice brought a wave of emotions that reached far beyond simple nostalgia. For more than 18 seasons, Mark Harmon had portrayed Gibbs, the tough, enigmatic, and fiercely loyal leader of the NCIS team. Harmon's portrayal was so definitive, so intertwined with the character itself, that it was hard to imagine anyone else stepping into those well-worn boots, let alone a younger version of the character. Gibbs' complex history, from his time as a Marine sniper to the devastating loss of his first wife and daughter, was the backbone of his personality. His pain, though often buried under a stern exterior, was palpable to the audience, especially when glimpses of his past were revealed. So when news broke that the young Gibbs had been cast, fans were immediately divided. On one hand, there was excitement, a chance to delve deeper into the psyche of one of television's most beloved characters, to see the events that shaped him before he became the legendary NCIS agent. On the other hand, there was a deep sense of unease, as if this new portrayal could potentially tarnish the legacy that Harmon had built over nearly 2 decades. The actor chosen for the role was Nathan Daniels, a rising star known for his raw, emotional performances in indie films. He was young, but there was an intensity in his eyes that echoed the haunted look Gibbs often carried, a look that spoke of loss, of battles fought both externally and within. Daniels was praised for his ability to convey vulnerability without losing the strength of the characters he portrayed. But despite these accolades, the announcement left many wondering, could he truly embody a young Leroy Jethro Gibbs? Mark Harmon, who had stepped back from his full-time role on NCIS but remained an executive producer, had reportedly been deeply involved in the casting process. It was said that he had even met with Daniels personally, offering advice and sharing stories about his own journey with the character. Harmon had always been protective of Gibbs, and this time was no different. He knew the weight of the task being handed to Daniels, and he wanted to ensure that the young actor was ready for the emotional depth required to play such a pivotal role. But there was another layer to this story that made the casting even more poignant, and in some ways, sadder for longtime fans. The origins of Gibbs' character were rooted in unspeakable tragedy, the murder of his wife Shannon and daughter Kelly at the hands of a drug cartel. This was the loss that defined him, that drove his relentless pursuit of justice and his unyielding sense of duty. It was a wound that never healed, and Harmon's portrayal of Gibbs always carried the weight of that pain. Now, with NCIS Origins, that loss would be explored in greater detail. The series was expected to depict the early years of Gibbs' marriage, the birth of Kelly, and the events leading up to that fateful day. For fans, this meant reliving one of the most heartbreaking aspects of the NCIS universe, a loss so profound that it shaped the very essence of the character. And now, with Nathan Daniels stepping into the role, there was the potential to make that pain even more tangible, even more heartbreaking.